Hola clase, this is the lesson for miércoles, el 24 de marzo. This was just the lesson, how it's going to flow, just in case you were gone or you had to leave early or come in late. This is what we're doing on miércoles. So we're going to start with a toque timbre. Since we are only having class on Wednesdays, we're going to have a few toque timbres sprinkled in there, and this is our first one. So what we have to do is you have to look at the sentences in Spanish or in English, and you have to figure out if it was in Spanish, would I use ser or a star, and why. My example is, we are doctors. I would use ser if I made that sentence a Spanish sentence, because being a doctor is an occupation. So pause the video right now, take some time to do that on a piece of paper. Okay, I hope you paused and you worked on that. We're going to go over the answers. The first sentence is, she is a teacher. I'm going to use ser in this instance because just like the example, ser is, or being a teacher is an occupation. The second sentence is a little bit tricky. It is, the book is Pete's. I'm going to use ser again in this sentence because that is, Pepe's relation to the book, or the book's relation to Pepe. So the book is Pepe's. I would use ser in that sentence. The Sears Tower is in Chicago. This one is also a bit tricky because it's going to be a star. It's going to be a star because Chicago is the location of the Sears Tower. And even though it would be really hard to move a building, and so it's not very temporary, it's still its location. So the temporary and permanent ser or and a star is a little bit, it's not super black and white. There are some in the middle gray things. So even though it would be really hard to move the Sears Tower, it's not very temporary. It's still a star because of the location. Senor Tuttle is from Enumclaw. We are going to use ser because that is Senor Tuttle's origin. That's where he's from. So we use origin. When we talk about origin, we use ser. The baby is sick with the flu. We're going to use the verb estar because it is the condition of the baby. So we use estar because it's the baby's condition, and condition can change. So the temporary explanation works for this one. And last but not least, I am so happy. I'm going to use estar because being happy is my emotion. So here are all your answers to the first toque timbre. You can set that aside as we move on. So the next thing that we are going to do is, their page. We're going to go over our homework. This was homework that was either due Thursday or Friday. And for the most part, some of it went really well and some other things needed to be adjusted. So I'm going to go over the answers to the homework. If you want to follow along and make some corrections and possibly resubmit for full points, you can go into the grade book on Schoology and find the title that says Práctica de Ser y Estar. Click on that and you'll be able to make changes from there. So Schoology gradebook, ser y estar. All right, let's go through this. So the first answer would be tú eres. This section, we're only working with the verb ser. So you have to conjugate ser. Los estudiantes would be son. And we're using son for los estudiantes because we'll use that form of ser if we're talking about anything plural. So it could be people, it could be animals, it could be inanimate objects. If it's a plural object, you're going to use the ellos, ellas, ustedes form. And you can find those notes in OneNote. And you can find a video about ser on my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Número tres is going to be es, because el señor is means like the gentleman or the sir, and so we're talking about one guy. Alberto y Juana. This tripped some people up. We're not talking to Alberto y Juana, so it wouldn't be vosotros or ustedes. That would be like you all, and you'd have to see a to or a usted somewhere in the sentence. But we're talking about them. So we're going to use the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, which is son. Elena y yo. It is nosotros. So it's somos. If you see any name y yo, it's always going to be nosotros form because I'm putting myself as part of that group. So that means it's we. Elena y yo, we are good friends. Or it could be anyone. It could be Elena, Maria, Marisol, y yo. So it just anybody y yo, it's nosotros. Usted, es. That is in our chart that we've practiced. It's in several places on OneNote and on this channel. Jose y tú, that's going to be two different answers if you would like. Both of them work. You could use them interchangeably. It would be vosotros or ustedes because we've got the two here. That means I'm talking to a group of people. So that's Jose and you. I'm talking to you all. Or y'all. So it could be vosotros sois or ustedes son. Número 8 is soy. Yo soy. Los elefantes. We've got some plural objects here. So we know it's going to be son, the ellos, ellas, ustedes form. And then for time, we always use son. Unless it's in the 1 o'clock hour, and then we use es. But since it's 10:30, 10:30 de la noche, we're going to use son. This next section is the estar verb. So that is also in our OneNotes. It's actually in the same notes as ser. The notes are called ser versus star, and it's the most recent video on this YouTube channel. Woohoo! I just started making YouTubes. Can you tell? Our first one, Julieta y Ramon. We're talking about two different people. So we're going to use the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, están. Two form, estás. Los estudiantes. We've got our los there. So I know it's going to be ellos, ellas, ustedes, están. Oops, not están, están. Yo estoy. Profe Ama, Señor Tutle y yo estamos. Tus amigos y tú. We got the y tú there again, so it's going to be the vosotros form or the ustedes form. Either one works. La chica, that's a singular object, so we're going to use ellos, ellas, ustedes form. Está. Santiago, we've got one guy, so we're going to use the L form, which is está, because you use the same for él or ella. Los perros, we got a los there again, so it's going to be están. And ustedes, I love it when they all have the same conjugations. Están once again. Our mix, we've got AR verbs ser and estar. The AR verbs are also a page in our OneNote, and it's a video on YouTube. Yo estudio. Las profes y yo estamos. Tus amigos. Now, I don't have tus amigos y tú. I kind of tripped you up in this one as well. It's just tus amigos, and I'm not talking to them, I'm talking about them. So I'm going to use the ellos form, cantan. The tú form is eres. The tú form of ser. Teresa is ella, because it's just one chica, one girl. So it's contesta. And vosotros for estar is estáis. Great. Now would be a good time to pause the video and resubmit or submit some late work for this assignment. It's called Práctica de Ser y Estar. All right, let's move on. I wanted to review the vocab. You needed to fill this out on Thursday or Friday, March, what day was that? March 18th or the 19th. So you needed to use the slideshow and come up with the words on your own. This video, if you were gone today, this is how you pronounce all of these words. So we're going to start with caliente, frío, limpio, I spelled that wrong, sucio, lleno, remember the double L's make a Y sound or a J sound, lleno, vacío, sentado, levantado, muerto, a la izquierda, a la derecha, delante de, detrás de, sobre, encima de, en, that's a tough one, debajo de, enfrente de, entre, aquí, allí, allá. So we have aquí, here, allí, there, allá, way over there. Al lado de, cerca de, lejos de, arriba, abajo, adentro or dentro de, afuera, adelante, atrás de, y la última, alrededor. So this, you should have already filled out the vocab, but that was just how to pronounce all of those. All right, it's time to take a Zoom break. So you are going to take some time with your camera off away from the computer and do some art, because later in the class we are going to play some bingo. So you are going to make a 5x5 bingo grid. This is an example that you can reference, but don't copy exactly. The middle box can be free. What you're going to do is you're going to draw a different emoji to represent all of the emotions and the conditions from our vocab notes. So these are the vocabulary notes that I'm referencing. They should already be filled out because that was homework last Thursday. I want you to use emojis to represent las emociones and las condiciones. Those are what I want you to make a bingo board out of, because later in class, we're going to play some bingo. So now would be a good time to pause the video, take the time that you need to make your bingo board. All right. In class, we played some Pictionary, but we are going to move on. If you're watching this video, it was an in-class activity. All right, tocatimbre número dos. Woohoo! So this time, I want you to draw a stick figure to represent the star and preposition sentences. So all of these sentences have a star and a preposition. Draw a little stick figure showing these positions that the subject may be in. The first one is, estoy dentro de la casa. Número 2, el gato está afuera de la casa. Número 3, los estudiantes están detrás de los escritorios. Número 4, yo estoy al lado de Diego. Y número 5, María está entre los escritorios. Pause the video and draw your stick figures. All right. Número 1, yo estoy dentro de la casa. I am inside the house. Here's my stick figure. Número 2, el gato, meow, está afuera de la casa. The cat is outside of the house. Número 3, los estudiantes están detrás de los escritorios. The students are behind the desks. Notice how my drawings are not awesome. Número 4, yo estoy al lado de Diego. I am next to Diego. Y número 5, María está entre los escritorios. Maria is in between the desks. How did you do? All right. This is the time that in class we were going to play bingo, or la lotería in español. If you were gone, so if you were watching this video because you were gone, instead what I want you to do is just label all of your emotions, or conditions in Spanish. So if you had a smiley face like this, I want you to write contenta underneath, because lotería is an in-class activity. All right, because this is a new schedule and things are kind of changing and moving around, it's probably a good time that you met all of the Spanish 1 teachers. All throughout the year, you probably heard me mention Profe Ama or Señor Tutle, Señor Tuttle. That is because there are 3 Spanish 1 teachers in the district, 3 profesores de Español 1, and we work together a lot. So a lot of the instructions or games or assignments or art projects that we do in class, all 3 of us, Profe Ama, Señor Tuttle, y yo, worked very hard together. So it is time to get to know them. Hola, me llamo Señorita Uzelman. Yo soy de Montana, pero estoy en Washington hoy. Me gusta jugar el tenis. Me gusta mucho. Viajo cada verano. Me encanta viajar a otros países. Bailo mucho a la música de Selena Quintanilla porque ella es la mejor. Y yo enseño en Chief Canaan y Twin Falls. Era una estudiante en Chief Canaan y Mount Si. Es todo sobre yo, señorita Uzelman. La próxima profe se llama Profe Ama. Hola, me llamo Profe Ama. Corro y nado con Booker. Y Booker es mi perro. A él le gusta remar en tabla conmigo. Viajo mucho. En mi país favorito es Guatemala. Me gusta mucho nadar en el mar. Pero señorita Uzelman no le gusta nadar. Profe Ama sí, pero señorita Uzelman no. Enseño en Snoqualmie Middle School y Mount Si High School. Y soy de Boise, Idaho, pero estoy en North Bend, Washington. Hola, Profe Ama. El próximo profe se llama Señor Tuttle. Hola, yo me llamo Señor Tuttle. Soy profe de español y historia. Me gusta el senderismo y estar afuera. Yo cocino cada noche para mi familia. Bailo, pero no muy bien. Señor Tuttle y señorita Uzelman bailan. A mí me encanta ser padre y estar con mis hijas. Soy de Enumclaw, Washington, pero estoy viviendo en Snoqualmie. Hola, señor Tuttle. ¿Qué recuerdas? Now it's time to show me what you learned about each profe. You're going to go to the Kahoot that is linked on our Schoology page for the week, and you're going to try your best to remember what you learned about each profe. Pause the video and go do that now. All right. It's your turn. This is a Schoology assignment. It's called Slide de Introducciones. You are going to use the profe slide as an example, and you're going to create your own with a picture of you, either a photo or drawn, but it has to be of you. Sorry, no pictures from the internet. But it could be drawn or it can be a photo of you. And do not edit other people's slides. We can see who's done the editing. So the slideshow is linked in the assignment, so make sure you click on that. Don't make a copy of it. You're going to put your slide right into the original slides, because once everybody's done, we'll have a book or a slideshow of all of our classmates. And so we'll be like a little familia de la clase de miércoles, Wednesday's classroom, to get to know everybody. Since we're all at different schools, we haven't seen each other all year, this is a good way to get to know everybody. And there might be some Kahoots throughout the rest of the year to get to know our classmates as well. So pause the video if you would like and work on your slides. You will find it on Schoology. This is due next Wednesday. So that would be miércoles el 31 de marzo, the last day of March. Oh, and that's it. All right, so that was our lesson for Wednesday. As you could probably see, we did a lot of in-class work, a lot of collaboration. The things that I would like you to work on is your introduction slide. So make a slide of you introducing you to the class and the other teachers. A bingo board with practicing emotions, and then try pronouncing the vocab that we went over, that we learned on Thursday or Friday, and we are reviewing this week. comment if something was confusing, if I should go slower or faster or have more examples. But we're going to try this out to see how it goes if you missed some classes. Adios.